I don't know if I can do that. Alright. I'm gonna just keep it here. Alright. Just waiting. Now it says it's unlisted. Did I unlist? Oh. Did I... Or can I not do that? Okay. Now... Right now it's public. I just want to see if anyone actually comes in. Alright. Doing things a little different. Okay, we got someone. Let's... Dillis, I think. Welcome into the stream. And the snail, the snail that reviews things is here. And he flips. Apparently he flips. Alright, okay, so welcome in to those of you that are coming in. Welcome. I probably should wait a little bit. Don't mind the fan. I'm just having that on right now because it is kind of warm in here. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and see if I can share this on. Yeah. Live right now. Go check it out. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we're doing this. Hello, welcome into the stream. Virginia Lake. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Yeah. So this is a different kind of stream. Basically. Last night, some of you guys probably saw it, but last night I was literally trying to test like my live stream both on my on the computer that I'm kind of reading the chat from right now, and my other laptop. But I was having like too many freaking issues, which was dumb. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So, like, the computer here, like, for whatever reason, like, it seems like connectivity's fine, but for whatever reason, like, when I would try to test whether it would still kind of lag, it still lags every now and then, and so that's not necessarily something that I want to happen, you know what I mean? So, that's why I'm not streaming on my computer, at the moment. I'm going back to streaming on my phone for the time being. I may have to. It's a crazy thing, but I might have to think about getting another laptop because I want to continue doing live streams. The laptop is good for certain other things though, but when it comes to live streaming, for whatever reason, it's messing me up. So it's crazy. Let me know in the chat, like if you guys can hear me. Let me know, because I can't really tell. I don't know if I'm muted or if I'm not muted. So let me know in the chat. But also, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button wherever it is, somewhere around here, I think. Hit the like button. All right, let's see. Audio's good. Okay, that's good. Yolis Torres says, "Hi, regular Josh 1. How was Disneyland with Bluey?" I think. Did I talk about that a while ago? I might have talked about that a while ago. I'm not sure. But, it's good. It's good. Disneyland, obviously, of course, is very fun, but you got Bluey at Disneyland as well. We've had Bluey for... It opened in... Was it March? I think it was March, yeah. So we'll almost have Bluey for about, like, roughly 3 months. Almost 3 months. It's been a full 2 months since we've had Bluey at Disneyland. And it's a cute show. It's a cute show. I check it out whenever I can. Mainly because, like, you know, it can be kind of tiring being at Disneyland, especially now that things are starting to heat up a little bit, you know what I mean? We're going to start having, you know, a hotter summer. I think this summer is probably going to be hotter than last year, which I'm not ready for, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, so I tend to check it out, not just because, like, I enjoy the show, but also because I want to, you know, sit down. The show's, like, about, like, roughly 40 minutes, 35 or 40 minutes, give or take. Which for some people, they would say it's too long for either for them or for their kids or whatever, but yeah. Yeah. But either way, it's still 40 minutes that you get to sit down and relax, you know what I mean? Anytoonmation is in the chat. Welcome. So, I'm gonna explain it again. The audio's good as always. That's good. Alright, yeah, but I'm not sure. You probably you most likely did just join in, but hold on a sec. 77 for tomorrow and 104 on Friday. Is that where you're at, Virginia, or is it around Disneyland? It's 104 on Friday. That's ridiculous. Mason Wrigley, welcome into the stream. Robert Colbert, what's good, Josh? Welcome. I know you saw me twice last night. Oh my god, that was so annoying. Like, I was literally doing like a few test streams, and for whatever reason, 2 of those test streams ended up going public. And it was like, why? I never set them to be public, but they went public. So that was annoying. So I was like literally upstairs sitting in front of my laptop for like 4 minutes. And I didn't even know I was live to people watching me. I was like, darn it. And that was BS. LOL, LMAO, yeah, I was so damn confused of why you were in 2 different locations. So yeah. I was trying to live stream on the other computer just to see if it was, you know, going to be able to if it was going to be able to work better, but yeah, it looks different here. Yeah, the room that I usually stream in, this is the room that I'm in right now. I didn't take down the blue screen. I do like auditions every now and then. You're kind of angled, essentially. Like usually I have you pointing like literally pointing right that way, but I have you kind of angled towards me. So, yeah, I'm filming. I'm live streaming on my phone right now. So the live stream setup is different. That's why the mic is back here because I'm not using it. Um, but yeah, so I'm kind of, I guess you can say, going a little bit old school and live streaming on my phone this time around. Yeah. The good thing it isn't at Disneyland 104. Yeah, if it was 104 at Disneyland, I would not want to go on Tuesday. I would not want to be going on Tuesday. Yeah. And even if it was like on a Friday, I'd be like, thank goodness I'm not going on Friday, you know what I mean? Somebody asked, I think it was yeah, and Anatune was asking how is Disneyland? Yeah, Disneyland. I've had like I haven't had a trip to Disneyland last week, or yeah, this current last week. Mainly because I wanted to save my trip to Disneyland for Tuesday for a particular reason. I'm not going to say, but for a particular reason. Um, but yeah, like I've had some pretty good trips to Disneyland the past, at least the past couple of trips. Last Saturday, it was last Saturday, right? Yeah, it was last Saturday. I went to Disneyland, and it was great. I had a freaking great day. It was honestly not as crowded as I thought it was going to be. The crowds were definitely lower. So I was definitely grateful for that. I was able to get on some good rides and check out a couple of things and just kind of hang out. I didn't do a vlog for that, did I? No. Wait, did I? No, I didn't do a vlog. Yeah, no, I didn't do a vlog. I didn't want to do a vlog for that one. I just wanted to hang out. But yeah, like, damn, I got 19 people in here? Okay. Hello to you 19 people out there, or 18, I guess. It fluctuates, but yeah, yeah, Disneyland's been fun. It's been fun. I can't wait to go back, again, Tuesday. Part of me kind of wants to push it back further in the week, but I think I'll keep the Tuesday date. Summer may be my favorite season, but the hot temperatures are so annoying. Tell me about it. I need to, I definitely need to update my air conditioner. That's why I have this fan on right now. Because when it starts heating up, it gets hot in this house. And I'm literally, I'm on the second floor, so, in this room, I'm on the second floor. I guess I technically could have done the live stream downstairs, but nah. But you know, heat rises, so obviously being up here, it's going to be a little bit more hotter. It's not exactly like that hot. It's just that I don't know. The house kind of tends to heat up, you know, even if it's not exactly that hot outside. It has something to do with like my AC unit or HVAC unit or something. So it's a whole thing. But yeah. I like the summer too, but I don't like the weather when it comes to the summer. If anything, I feel like in Southern California, when it gets like really hot, it doesn't really start getting hot until like maybe late July going into August. It's like August and September and October is when it's really freaking hot. So, yeah. Did you go to D23? D23 isn't until August. So I got like 2 more months until D23. Very, very excited for that. I'm definitely going to be doing a vlog. I don't know if I'm going to do a vlog for like all 3 days, or am I going to just combine all 3 days into one vlog. I'm not fully sure how I'm going to do that. I haven't really planned it out because I've never been to D23 Expo before, so it's going to be exciting, especially since I do have 2 big panels. I have one for the one for the movies, which is on Friday in August, and I have one for the parks panel. So I'm going to be able to see all of the like big projects that are going to be happening in all Disney parks around the world. and stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Very excited for that. But yeah, again, first time going to D23. I'm very, very excited for it. So, and honestly, speaking of conventions, I almost went to a convention this weekend. Whether it was going to be yesterday or today, I almost went. It was a video game convention down in Pasadena. And the only reason why I really wanted to go was because Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, actually is at that convention, and he's been doing excuse me, he's been doing I guess like autographs and stuff like that. So I thought about doing it, but at the same time it was kind of a last minute thing. I think I literally found out that he was going to be meeting people at that convention like maybe a few days ago, I think. So yeah, I wish I could have met him, but it's all good. It would be cool. I doubt this is gonna happen, but it would be so cool if he went to LA Comic Con later on this year. I'm 100% going to that. Oh man, this is probably gonna be the year of conventions for me, I guess. Maybe. Yeah. Spaceboy CT Studios. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's been a while. Super exciting for D23. Yeah, I'm honestly, I consider myself lucky even being able to get tickets for D23 because I wanted to get the 3-day pass, right? But those sold out like pretty instantly, right? But when it came to, well, technically, yeah, but the ones that were like on the floor level of the Honda Center, because the 3-day tickets, regardless, were with the Honda Center and stuff. So the ones on the floor level of the Honda Center, those were expensive, and I was not gonna spend that much money. So yeah, I mean, I still ended up spending quite a bit of money though, but it was way more doable. Yeah. Meeting Doug is pretty much an accomplishment. It is, especially considering that he still has like fatigue and what have you. So I think even then, well, not every convention, but I think certain conventions he goes to, like depending on how he feels, he may only be meeting people for like an hour per day and what have you. So yeah. Good point that you did not spend the expensive one. Yeah, I almost considered, let's just put it this way, all right? The cheapest ticket, I think, for the 3-day preferred ultimate fan pass, which was the floor level seats, right? The cheapest ticket was a little over $1,000. I think it was like $1,200 or something, which is a lot of money. And I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a part of me that said, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I almost was like, man, all the 3-day tickets are gone except for those. Those are still available. So I was like, it's gonna bite me in the behind, but I might have to do it. But those were gone, right? And the second level of, because they have like 3 levels for the floor seats. The cheapest one was like $1,200. The second was like, I think, close to $2,800, which I wasn't gonna do at all. And the ones where you're like the closest to the stage was like, I think, $3,500, which once again I'm not going to do. Like, oh man. So what I ended up doing when it came to D23 was, instead I just bought 3 separate day tickets. I got one with the Honda Center for Friday, got one with the Honda Center for Saturday, which I was glad I was able to get, and then when it came to Sunday, I just got a regular D23 ticket. So instead of going to the Honda Center on Sunday, I'm just going to D23. So yeah, it was still a good chunk of money for what I had to pay for it, but it wasn't in the thousands. So That was at least a plus side. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. Um, Let me see if I can catch up here. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I missed any. I would like to meet Doug Walker someday. Yeah, I would definitely love to meet Doug Walker as well. Honestly, because in a way, when it came to my YouTube channel, for like certain videos, when I started doing like reviews, or like certain movie reviews, not all of my movie reviews, but certain movie reviews, I definitely like took inspiration from Nostalgia Critic, 100%. Like the Agent Fox review, if any of you guys remember that review that I did a while ago, that one was 100% me being inspired by Nostalgia Critic, and I really enjoyed making that video, even if that meant I had to watch Agent Fox about twice just so I can like reference the scene and talk, like write the script and talk about all the things wrong about this movie and what have you. And it also meant me editing the editing the video for like at least 8 hours or something. I was locked in at that time. I was like, I am getting this video done and posting it, doing this, yada yada yada. I didn't, like when I was watching this movie the first time, I was kind of like, man, I think I need to do a review of this. So I was like, yeah. But it would be awesome if I was able to meet Doug Walker. Maybe another time. Maybe he comes back to California at some point. Who knows? Honestly, a person I would love to meet more is Steve Burns, of course, from Blue's Clues. I would love to meet this man. Childhood hero, 100%, and of course with me being in my show, you know what I mean? Like, he also inspired me to be a part of the show that I'm a part of, and, I kind of base a little bit, some of my performance, from him, if that makes sense, when I'm, like, speaking to the camera with the kids that are watching the show, you know what I mean? So I try to, like, sometimes when I'm doing that, I kind of, I guess you can say, channel my inner Steve or something. You know what I mean? I swear to God, like, that would literally be, I don't know, 4-year-old me talking at this point. You know what I mean? 4-year-old me loved Blue's Clues. Loved it. Yeah. Insane. Alright, let's see. Remember that funny scene where Doug dropped a glass of water on the ground? I'm assuming that's for the, what was that review? The Titanic review. But it was the second animated Titanic review. I think that's the one you're talking about. I don't know. I watch that one pretty often. That one's pretty funny. Oh yeah, Doug Walker. I'm sorry. I need to drop some. Yes, you were talking about that scene. Okay. Yeah, that one's one of my favorites. Let's see. I see there, Josh, for how expensive they are, which is over thousands of dollars. Yeah, it's insane that it's that much. Thank goodness you did not go to the thousands to spend. Yeah, I would have been fine if I were to have gone with like the $1,200 package, and admittedly, I probably would have been fine doing the 3,500 package too. I just didn't want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It was not something I wanted to do in the slightest. I don't want to spend that money on anything. You know what I mean? Unless I'm paying it over time or something. But yeah. Have you seen The Amazing Digital Service Last Act? No, I've never seen that show. Not exactly all that interested in it, but yeah, so I haven't seen it. Your Agent Fox review was your first video I watched from your channel. Talk about an introduction. Wow, that was your first video. Damn. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that was. Yeah, in hindsight, like, I wish there were certain things I could have done differently about that video. But at the same time, I am happy with how it came out. And this was before Alex or Gary, that one snail. That was no Swirly, that one snail. He's not named Gary anymore. That was before he started editing my videos. So the fact that I was even able to do that at the time was like, you know what I mean? That review must have been hilarious. It was. Fur Art Style 1015. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into the stream. Steve Burns would be amazing. He definitely would be amazing. Spyro the Dragon is coming back. Yes. I just found out about that today. I haven't necessarily heard. Get it right. Okay. Swirly. All right. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, Spyro. I literally just found out about that watching another stream earlier today. Corgi Cam, and he's a huge fan of Spyro, which I didn't know, but he was hyped when he was watching the trailer for that game. So it's been nearly 8 years since the Purple Dragon has made a proper comeback. Wow. So obviously people must be fairly hyped for that. That's cool. What's your favorite Disney movie? I mean, I guess it is Disney. It's Pixar, but it is Disney. I'm gonna have to say it's Finding Nemo. I always say Finding Nemo. That is literally my all-time favorite animated movie of all time. You can't say anything else to me. That is my all-time favorite animated film. It's always been that way. Yeah, it just has a special place in my heart for some reason. I just love that film. Finding Nemo doesn't count. That's Pixar. Well, Pixar is Disney, okay? So, like, who cares? Who cares? I heard that Legend of Titanic was pretty bad. Legend of Titanic... Was that the second animated film or the first animated Titanic film? I don't even remember, to be honest. Tentacalino is worse. Yeah. Josh, you made the snail angry. I always make the snail angry. Have you heard Pokemon is coming back to Disney? You mean Disney XD? I haven't heard of that. I guess. That would be interesting. Yeah, because they haven't aired Pokemon in like a long time on Disney XD. And I honestly forgot that they even aired it on Disney XD, because I'm used to Pokemon being on Cartoon Network, but they don't do... Excuse me, they don't do Cartoon Network anymore either, so... Yeah, it's a whole thing. Let me see, just very quickly. Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Alright, what are your thoughts on regular show The Lost Tapes? I actually haven't really checked out, like, many of the episodes just yet. But it's cool that the regular show's back, you know? What's interesting, though, is that people were, like, mentioning how regular show's animation is kind of different now. It looks a little weird and, I guess, more stiff. And I'm kind of looking at the animation of regular show, and then I'm thinking back, and I'm like, the animation isn't really that different, is it? like to me, I don't feel like the animation for regular show is all that different. I feel like it's, you know, kind of the same, right? I mean, maybe slightly different because I guess it's all digitized now, but I feel like it's not that different from what it used to be, you know? Now, I could be wrong. I could be remembering things differently, but I feel like it's kind of the same. So, but that's just me. But yeah, I think, like, at some point I'll probably spend a bit more time, like, sitting down and checking that show out. But yeah, I'm glad, regardless, I am glad that that regular show is back. And speaking of Cartoon Network, and I guess you can also mention Hulu in this as well, Adventure Time Side Quest is premiering pretty soon. Honestly, it's an appropriate time for me to show off this again. Yep. I forgot what his name was, but he was one of the animators that worked on the actual Adventure Time um, show, and he's working on Adventure, or he has been working on Adventure Time side quest. So, and I remember he told me last year when I went to LA Comic Con that the show was going to be coming out this year. So that's awesome. It's going to be on Hulu though, which of course is going to go on Hulu because why is it going to go on Cartoon Network nowadays? You know what I mean? But at the same time though, I'm kind of excited for it. I'm very curious how like how the show's gonna be. You know, is it gonna feel similar to like the first season of Adventure Time? I think that was kind of the purpose, but is it truly gonna feel like the first season, roughly like the first season of Adventure Time? Not really sure. You know, and also with the promo art that we got for it. It looks like it's going to be a different kind of art style, which, I mean, makes sense, really, all things considered. So, yeah, I'm wondering when we're going to get a trailer for it, because it should, you know, let me see. Did they just say it was going to come out, like, in the summer, or Adventure Time side quests release date? Oh, it premieres at the end of this month on the 29th. Okay. So literally in about like 3 weeks on Monday it's going to premiere. All right. So yeah, I'm kind of it's surprising to me we don't have a trailer just yet. Maybe we get it sometime this week. Maybe I hope you get a trailer of SideQuest on Annecy. Yeah, that's right. When is that? When does that take place? Annecy Film Festival. Okay, that takes place in 2 weeks. So Sunday, June 21st to June 27th. Nice, nice. Let me pull back up the chat on my computer right here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. So we should roughly maybe get a trailer in about roughly a week or two. Like, I'm gonna call it, it's gonna be roughly a week or two. Whether it's gonna be this week or next week, we should get something, right? I doubt they're gonna do it a week before it premieres. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's see. I love that Hulu is giving Cartoon Network shows more respect than Warner Brothers Discovery, the company that owns Cartoon Network. Yeah. But speaking of that, I think it was either yesterday or it was 2 days ago. And I'm sure you guys probably have heard of this. Apparently, what Paramount is wanting to do in order to complete this merger with Warner Brothers is they're thinking about spinning off their kids' networks. I don't know if it's going to be all of them, but they're going to be spinning some of them off, right? So, I mean, I would assume that would mean Nicktoons and maybe Teen Nick, maybe Nick Jr. as well. I don't know what else they're going to do, so, yeah. I wonder if, I mean, I don't think Cartoon Network, it wouldn't make sense because they don't own Cartoon Network right now, but I wonder, let's say that the merger were to go through, would they spin off Cartoon Network and have somebody else buy the channel? I have no idea. I have no clue. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I was speaking with Alex about this again. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And I was telling him, it was like, well, see, this is exactly why kids of today barely even know what cartoons are. And it also is exactly why they're so inundated with brain rot. They literally use brain rot for entertainment nowadays because these companies are legitimately giving up on them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy, at least to me. Sorry, I gotta go install an air conditioner unit. Good luck with that. Hopefully it's not too difficult, but yeah. Again, just good luck. Good luck. Hopefully everything works, because I know in New York, like, it can get pretty hot up there, and I don't know if it's hotter in New York than it is in California during the summer. I have no idea, but yeah. Either way, good luck. If Paramount Skydance is thinking about selling Nickelodeon, Teen Nick, Nick Jr., and Nicktoons, they might as well just hand them to Comcast. Maybe they can handle those children networks better. Maybe. Maybe. That would be interesting, because does Comcast even have, like, a channel on television where they can, like, air kids content? I don't know. I don't know all of the I don't know all of the channels that each of these companies own. I don't know. I hate the meme. Yeah, I hate it too. I don't want to. I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. They did have Universal Kids. That's right, and then that dissipated, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but I also dislike that meme as well. Which is why I don't like today. I don't today. That's why things have been going the way that they were going today, because it's June 7th. So you already know what I mean by that. Good lord. I was on Instagram earlier today, and one of the first posts that I see is a post by Disney Parks blog, right? And they, I guess, invited the kid who started that particular meme, and he was basically doing that meme with Mickey and Goofy and some of the other characters. And God, I hated that. I hated that. The one thing that I can say is that when it came to Disney parks, I was able to escape that meme, because when I went to Knott's Berry Farm, they would be saying that meme. And I'm not talking about necessarily the teenagers, right? Because sometimes kids say it at Disneyland too, though. But I'm talking about, like, the park itself, like the employees and the shows and what have you. Yeah, like, Disney does not tend to put that in their shows. Whereas Universal, if you were to watch, like, Waterworld, someone's gonna mention the meme, right? Or maybe they won't, but I haven't been lucky enough yet to where they don't mention the meme. And Knott's Berry Farm, same thing, you know, like, they kind of somewhat embrace the meme. I mean, not embrace it to the point where they're, like, spamming it everywhere, but it's just the fact that they say it. Disney doesn't really participate in that until today. So yeah, I I hate these memes, dude. They just suck. They suck. Oy. It is definitely a curse. Oh, I honestly, I feel it, because I had to. The reason why I'm kind of like, you may not necessarily see it, but I'm actually pretty tired today. Neil Anton, what did Disney do? I'm not going to say the numbers. I don't want to say the meme, but Disney Parks Instagram page, and probably their TikTok and probably their Twitter, posted a video of the kid that made that meme popular, I think, or trendy or whatever. And he was doing it with some Disney characters. So that was what I was talking about when it comes to Disney. But yeah, but I am a little exhausted today. The reason why was because I actually had to go over to Josh can never see the number that the same way again. No one can. No one can. Like, until that meme dies, I can't look at that number the same anymore. But yeah, I had to basically go to 2 stores today so I can get some stuff. Excuse me, for my dog. she had like a pretty bad problem. I was like checking her stomach earlier this morning to kind of see like what was going on, and I saw like a bunch of fleas on her stomach, which scared the crap out of me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get her some medicine, and I'm also gonna go ahead and get her some shampoo so I can go ahead and wash the fleas off of her myself. I had like no plans to give her a flea bath, but it was like I had to do it because my vet was closed today. They're closed on Sundays. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. And oh my god, the amount of money that I spent alone on the doggy products, man, for this flea stuff is like, yeah, I spent a lot of money. I spent a good chunk of money. Guys, having a dog is not cheap. It is not cheap, okay? Oh, man. I mean, it can be, but when it comes to, taking them to the vet, or when it comes to, say, you wanting to take a trip and you got to put them in, like, a boarding hotel, that costs money. It can cost a good chunk of money, So, yeah. I'm not saying don't get dogs, okay? I'm just saying that dogs are expensive. I guess just like everything, kids are expensive. And I'm definitely not having children anytime soon. Thank goodness. Uh, yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like earlier in the morning, I was walking around the neighborhood. I did like 3 laps. I'm trying to do daily walking. I'm trying to kind of like incorporate that into my habit because I'm actually trying to slim down. I don't want to continue being this weight for pretty long. You know what I mean? So yeah, especially since I'm getting older this year. So it's like, I mean, you get older every year, but you know what I mean. But still, it's like, yeah, I don't want to continue staying this pudgy. So I'd like to slim down. Especially also, supposedly, I'm gonna be filming season 5 of I'm gonna be doing season 5 of my show in August, and so if I can slim down just a little bit before I get back on the camera, that would be great. It would probably that's my goal. That's my goal. So that's why I'm gonna be walking every day, whether it is twice around the neighborhood or maybe 3 times around the neighborhood. At the very least, a certain amount of time, so where like I'm getting some good amount of steps in. That's what I'm gonna do. But the reason why I'm even bringing that up is because, like, I told Alex this too. Me giving my dog a flea bath was way more exhausting than me walking around the neighborhood. And honest to God, I don't know how that's possible. Maggie's Market? Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's... We were supposed to film, I think I talked about this before, but we were supposed to film season 5 earlier in the year, but because of the location that we were filming at the past 4 years, they shut down. And so now we're going to film in Dallas. So I'm going to Texas. So, yeah. That should be interesting. I almost no, I'm not gonna mention that, but still, like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I hope at the very least, if I'm there, that I can get some good like barbecue at least one day. That would be cool. That would make the trip very freaking worth it. If I ever have kids someday, I will never let them watch any trash on the internet. No tablets, no iPads. Good. You would be a good parent. You would be better than some of the parents that just let their kids go on their iPads 24/7. Like, yikes. No, thank you. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to have a child, they're not going to be an iPad kid, okay? Not just because of the fact that I don't have iPads or Apple products in my house, but also because I just don't want them to be completely sucked in to the tablet. Not to mention, I'm not spending money for a tiny little child to have a tablet. No. I don't care if the tablets are not that expensive. In fact, actually, how much are even our iPads? Okay, so good. So an iPad is about like roughly $300. Even though I guess you could. Well, that's with T-Mobile, so I guess it's a different situation. But yeah, it's roughly like either $200 or $300. Personally, I would not want to spend that much money on my kid to play with something that he could also easily break. You know what I mean? It's just not. Um, I wouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't do it. Right? And more people should kind of be like that. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I would actually let my kid watch actual good things on the internet. One of my house rules would be no brain rot. Yeah, I if I were to let them on the internet, like it would have to be like very limited usage of the internet. But also, I would be probably watching them like a hawk. Because I wouldn't want them to watch some of this brain rot stuff. Especially AI slop. I would not want them to see AI slop, dude. I've seen some crazy AI. I mean, I think everyone has at this point. That whole, what was it, Fruit Love Island BS? That was, the fact that people are watching that is just wild to me. And then they spawned different versions, like other companies, other creators were doing the same thing but different foods. They did it with vegetables and they were doing it with candy. There was a Candy Love Island at one point. I'm not making this up. So yeah, like I would want to keep my kids away from that because it's not going to be something that fuels their creativity in any sort of way, right? So yeah, it's definitely not something that I would want to do as a parent if I were to ever become a parent. But also, if I were to have uh obviously a girlfriend or a wife that I created a child with, we would have to be on the same page. And I would have to make it clear and be like, no, I don't think we should be getting our kids an iPad. No, don't do it. Okay, if the kid's an iPad kid, that's on you. You take care of them and you do whatever. I'm not gonna get involved. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I wouldn't get involved though, but I would definitely be like, see, this is your fault, ma'am. Okay, I told you to not get him an iPad. I wasn't gonna pay for it. You got him an iPad and look at what it's done with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy because I've been watching like a lot of these videos on YouTube. There's, I think his name's Casey Simpson. You guys may or may not know who Casey Simpson is, but I don't know which character he played, but he was one of the four main kids on Ricky, Dicky, and Don. Ricky, Nicky, Dicky, and Don. And he is making videos now talking about like Gen Alpha and how like they're kind of screwed because they're so behind academically and they're so obsessed with scrolling and doom scrolling and all that stuff. So yeah, I've been in that world where it's kind of like, dude, this is nuts. It's kind of scary. You know, it's kind of scary. That is a great YouTube channel here. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy watching his videos. If that's who you were talking about. Let me see. It's been a minute since I've seen your videos. How you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a minute since you've seen any of my videos because I haven't been posting videos recently. I just haven't been making videos. I'm not... I mean, like, trust me, it's on the back of my mind. Like, I think about it pretty often, but I just have not gone back to doing it. And I don't even know when I can say I'd be returning for another video on this channel. I know how bad that is. I know it's bad, but that's just kind of how things have been playing out. So, yeah. We've been live for almost an hour, supposedly. All right. let's see. I think after this live, I'm definitely gonna take a nap because I'm feeling tired right now. You may have noticed it. I don't know, but I'm feeling, I'm certainly feeling tired right now. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. I saw that Forsaken compression sock ad and it disgusted me. I don't know what that is. I certainly haven't seen it, so I couldn't say anything. Um, One example can think of is the Scholastic Kids channel on YouTube with all the old and new preschool shows on it. I barely remember, or I guess I didn't really know they had a YouTube channel. And the interesting thing is, also, which I'm kind of surprised. Well, has he made that point, Casey? I don't know if Casey's made this point yet, but it's kind of interesting how, like, it's interesting how, like, back in the day when we were kids, we used to have, what am I trying to say? Like, educational games for kids, you know what I mean? Where they were fun. They used some of our favorite characters and what have you, but at the same time, it was kind of educational. We were still learning things from it. Or just the shows that we would watch. Like, it would be somewhat educational. And nowadays, these kids are not watching that kind of stuff. They're watching Brain Rot, or they're watching the likes of Super Kitties, which is fine. Super Kitties is a cute show. Um, Things like Paw Patrol, where it's not necessarily that educational, you know what I mean? Which it doesn't even need to be, though. But I remember growing up with stuff like, obviously Blue's Clues and Dora, and even a little later on in my life as a child, Little Einsteins. I remember that stuff, and that taught me a lot about, like, music and art and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. Speaking of Little Einsteins, can you imagine? There's literally a Little Einsteins Reddit thread. I'm not kidding, and it's still active today. It's like, what? It's Little Einstein still has its fans, okay? Oh man. Um Yeah, my childhood years were so much compared to the things kids are into nowadays. Yep. Yep. I feel that. Um I hope you have a good rest. I can see why you would be tired. It's hard work. Yeah, I was. Well, first of all, also I kind of slept a little late last night, so I think I'm running on like a few hours of sleep. But yeah, yeah, I'm tired, and so when I do happen to get up from my nap and I do make dinner, I'm probably gonna do like crab legs or something. I've been getting crab legs from Costco recently, and that place has some good crab legs, man, and for a good price, you know. And they're not like very skinny where there's barely any freaking meat in the shell. There's a lot, you know what I mean? So yeah, um, we're going on a ship in our favorite rocket ship. I totally said that wrong. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. Yep. Zooming through the sky. Little Einstein. Yeah, oh, God. God. Oh, that was that show. That show was something for me when I was a kid. Like, I mean, I wasn't even in the age range at that time to be watching that show. I was still in elementary school when it came out, but like still, I was not the demographic for it. But even so, I still enjoyed that show when I was a kid. Oh god. And then you also had the Doodle Bops as well. That was another show I enjoyed as a kid too. Yeah, man. Um But I mean, I guess it shouldn't really surprise me. I mean, like, literally in high school, I started watching Paw Patrol when it came out. Like what the hell? Hi. Let me see. Playhouse Disney was pretty cool. It definitely was. It was. I freaking loved Playhouse Disney when I was a kid. That was that was I think I might have enjoyed Playhouse Disney more than Nick Jr. when I was a kid. You know what, honestly, I can't even say that because I don't really know. I might have liked both the same. I don't know. And I just realized what I did, and, yeah. I'll see you guys later. Darn it, it doesn't even go any lower than that. Okay. I was gonna do, like, a joke, but, you know, it didn't work. It didn't work. Josh would not want to live in the TikTok household. Hell no. Absolutely not, dude. I would not want to. I would not want to be around TikTokers, bro. Absolutely not. Um. There's adults who like Bluey, so watching Paw Patrol in high school isn't that weird if you really think about it. I mean, yeah, but like Bluey is a different kind of a show, you know? I mean, granted, yes, it's a preschool show, but like it's a show that has like a lot of heart and charm to it, and you just love the characters, whether it is the kids or it's the adults in the show, the parents. You know what I mean? And it teaches like really like real life lessons that anyone, whether you're a kid or you're an adult, anyone could learn from. You know what I mean? So like, granted, you're correct on that, but at the same time, like Bluey is leagues different from like a lot of preschool shows that you see nowadays. You know what I mean? Which is why it's so big, I think, because like even because like say for example Paw Patrol for a while like was I think it's still technically number one on Nick Jr. The thing is, it's only number one for the kids. I don't think parents enjoy watching Paw Patrol. And look, I don't blame them for that because Paw Patrol nowadays is so stupid. Like it is incredible how dumb the show is right now. Like the first 5 seasons, I would have to say were the best seasons of the entire show, and then it's just completely slid off a rock, and it's just incredibly dumb. So parents probably don't enjoy watching the show anymore, but the kids still do enjoy it. There's a difference between a show that is popular with children, like young children, and a show that is popular with children and adults, and even like childless adults. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, Bluey, it's kind of in a different league of its own. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that's why in such a way it is like, you know, very different in the sense of, you know, people a lot of people are not necessarily going to be ashamed to say that they enjoy watching Bluey, right? If you were somebody of my age and you were saying that you enjoyed watching Paw Patrol, people may look at you sideways in such a way. But Bluey, everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, I know that show. I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally two different shows to where it's like, yeah, it's, I guess you could say different expectations and what have you. So that's how that is, I think. So, yeah. Let me see. There was somebody. I honestly don't care what people watch, honestly. Yeah, for the most part, I don't really care about that either, you know? TikTok was the beginning of our downfall to our society that still hasn't recovered since. The downfall of society has plummeted in the past 2 years for obvious reasons, and I don't think it's ever going to recover. I'm going to be incredibly honest with you guys right now. I have a very bleak outlook on the future. Not even kidding. The future does not look bright to me at all. I don't let it get to me, right? I still live my life as I do, which is great. But in terms of looking forward to the future, I do not. Okay, like I do not look forward to how the world's gonna look like in a year or two or in 5 years, because it's bleak. It's very bleak. But that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, um, it's crazy to me that Paw Patrol has 13 seasons now. Pfft, tell me about it. Good lord. Like when it first came out, I didn't think it was gonna be as big as it was, but 13 seasons, and it seems like it's not stopping anytime soon. Crazy. Yeah. Do you remember the 2004 Smash musical CGI hit preschool show known as The Backyardigans? Why, yes, I do know that. And you would also know that I know that because I made a video about the Backyardigans. Not the 2004 Backyardigans, the 2024 Backyardigans. Or was it 2025? I don't remember when that came out, but you know the version I'm talking about. Um, so it's yeah. To be honest, Paw Patrol feels like it doesn't feel like it has soul to it like it did back in the early days. Absolutely, I fully agree with you on that. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to. In my opinion, Bluey is like Peppa Pig, but done right. I still remember watching a Peppa Pig episode where Peppa fat shamed her own dad. I like my first exposure to Peppa Pig, honestly, was when I was in Europe for a tour with my choir, and Peppa Pig was all over the place over there, and I was like, what on earth is this thing? I all I knew at the time was it was big. I didn't understand it, and I don't like it. I do not like it. Speaking of that, when the Bluey movie comes out, are you going to watch it? Most likely. Am I going to watch it in the theaters when it comes out? That's the real question. I don't know. I don't really go to a lot of theaters to see movies nowadays. Like, something has to really get me out there to see, or something has to really make me hyped to see it in theaters, right? And speaking of movies, to kind of switch topics a little bit, Swirly earlier actually mentioned um, that I saw the newer Mario Bros. Movie. I forgot which, the second Mario Bros. Movie. What was it? What was the title of that one? Oh, it's the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yes. In the chat, did you guys see the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie? And if you did, what did you guys think about it? I want to see. I want to hear your thoughts before I say mine. Um, Let me go ahead and continue. I would still take Paw Patrol over Cocomelon any day, even if I really watched the show. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of Cocomelon, and also speaking of movies, have you guys seen the photo of what the movie of Cocomelon is going to look like? It's cursed. It's cursed. Oh god, I hated it. I hated it. I still hate that Cocomelon is getting its own movie. Why? It's just a bunch of nursery rhymes. Is it going to be 2 hours of JJ singing nursery rhymes? Like, what are we doing here? Good lord. Thank God I'm never going to watch that. That is not welcomed in this house. um... Alright, let's see. Actually, The Backyardigans 2024 wasn't a reboot. Oh, trust me, I know The Backyardigans was not a reboot. It was just a set of YouTube videos that they were creating. Again, I made a whole video about that, so trust me, I know all about that particular Backyardigans. Josh, have you heard of Sprout? Loved that channel as a toddler. Yeah, I did hear of Sprout. Obviously, I don't think I ever watched anything, but I remember from Sprout there was like this chicken puppet that was very popular. I don't know what show it was, but I remember her specifically. And yeah, it was a very popular character on Sprout. But that's all I knew of when it came to that that channel. um the fact that DreamWorks of all studios is working on it is just kind of shocking in the wrong ways. It's DreamWorks that's working on Cocomelon? Yeah, I didn't know that. I definitely did not know that. um, it deadass looks AI generated. It did kind of look AI generated. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. Um, yeah, but yeah, let's. Galaxy movie is so much better. Some people did not see it. I don't know why people hated it. So some people saw it and some people didn't see it. Okay, just my quick thoughts. I don't think Josh is into anime. No, not really. Um, ooh, you know what? I got a topic that I do want to talk about. Like now that you mentioned anime, I do have a topic I want to talk about, but that will be afterwards. A moment of, yeah, maybe. Speaking of AI, we do need to start adding restrictions to it. Yeah, we absolutely do. We 100% do. But anyway, very quickly, my quick thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. It's, to be honest, it's kind of forgettable. I literally don't remember like 90% of the things that happens in that movie. I, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really the biggest fan of that film. I felt like it wasn't nearly as good as the first one. That was just my personal opinion. Like, I felt like it was way too much, I think, was kind of going on. Things were kind of just random, in my personal opinion, and, I guess it was a little bit too fast paced where this was happening, then this was happening, then this was happening, and then that abrupt ending, which was just nuts. Um, yeah, like I can't even really talk all that much about it because again, I don't really remember much about what even happened in the freaking movie to begin with. It was like, okay, like I'm having a hard time even like recollecting my thoughts on it. And then you also had damn, what's his name? It's not just Star Fox, isn't it? Is that Star Fox? Right? I'm not that much of a nerd, so I wouldn't know a lot of these things. Um, yeah, Star Fox. He was in this movie apparently, which was very random. And honestly, I gotta say, I think he was the best freaking character in the whole movie. Not even kidding. He was in it like for what, several minutes, and I liked. Actually, you know what? I take that back. It was him, but Yoshi. Yoshi was the best character in the movie. Not even kidding. But yeah, other than that, like, it was, it was, I don't know. I can't say I really, enjoyed that movie as much as I wanted to. Like, I liked the first movie much better. The second one, I wish was better. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know? They can't all be winners. So, yeah, there you go. Um, Nothing memorable in the movie, like Bowser singing Peaches, Peaches, Peaches. There's not even a song. Like, you'd think that they would have given Bowser, like, another song in the second movie. Nope. Nope. None of that. There was nothing that I could say was memorable that much. But, well, I mean, I think the most memorable scene for me was, obviously the introduction of Yoshi, and you see how he got to that green tube and what have you. That was the most memorable part for of the movie for me, because I think it was the best part of the movie as well. But yeah, honestly, unfortunately, it just wasn't that good of a movie to me. It wasn't. They're already working on a third Mario movie. Are they? Damn, I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Because I think even then, I think the Super. When? How much money did it make at the box office? Let's see. Box office numbers. So I guess it just passed $1 billion. Yeah, so they're gonna make another movie. It's printing money. Like it just makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, they kind of had a gold mine with it. I do hope that the third movie is going to be an improvement from the second one. The second one was forgettable for me. But speaking of Nintendo and Universal, um, it was about like what, a month ago, I think. Maybe a little over a month ago. I actually ended up going to Universal Studios and I did FanFest for the very first time. I did post a link to the vlog a while ago on one of my posts, so some of you guys may have seen it, and some of you guys may have not have seen that vlog, but I ended up going to FanFest, and I had a blast. It was so much fun. I, like, literally, the week after I did FanFest, I was still thinking about it. I was like, dude, that was a ton of fun, right? So this year, what they had was they had a One Piece show at Waterworld, right? And I know like literally little to nothing about One Piece. I've never seen an episode of One Piece, and it is too late for me to even get into One Piece because that show has like 1,000 episodes. Ain't no way am I remotely gonna try to catch up on that. That's ridiculous. But yeah, they had a One Piece show. They had like also One Piece like meet and greets. They had a meet and greet for One Piece last year, and then they kind of expanded on that this year, where they had One Piece meet and greets. They had like a One Piece pop up shop, I guess you can say, at one of their restaurants in Universal Studios. And they had a stunt show at Waterworld. It was a Waterworld overlay. And I'm telling you, even as somebody that knows literally nothing about One Piece, that show was awesome. Oh my god, it was awesome. The stunts were cool, the pyro was cool, the characters honestly was pretty fun. It was the effects that they also used in that show too was really freaking cool. Like, my goodness, I'm so glad I was able to catch that show. But it was so freaking good. It was incredible. And then also they had a Dungeons and Dragons walkthrough experience. Well, technically a walkthrough experience, but yeah, they had they had a Dungeons and Dragons experience, right? Which is also something I know little to nothing about. And that was very freaking cool. Like the second to last room that you go into, I don't remember what it was called. But it has like this ginormous freaking, they had like this huge puppet where it was kind of like this one-eyed monster and it had like tentacles and had like other eyes or something. Again, I don't remember what it was called or anything like that, though, but that was so freaking cool. Like, it was, I mean, I've seen it before because that experience was at FanFest last year, and I got to check out, obviously, like, live streams of the event and videos of it. So, I knew about the puppet, though, but seeing it in person, my mind was freaking blown. And then you had like a Jurassic Park experience where you actually got to see like some mock-ups of like the dinosaurs that was used in the movie, or not used in the movie, but like some of the dinosaurs that you could see in the movie, like the T-Rex and some raptors and stuff like that, which was really freaking cool. And they had some vehicles from the Jurassic Parks movies that were on display as well. But they also had like this show where these two raptors are kind of out of containment, and all of these guys are trying to get them back into containment, obviously for the safety of us. And that was also pretty cool too, because the raptors were kind of chase some of the men. They would like swing their giant tails over to try to knock them down. They would get up kind of close to you and maybe roar in your face. It was so cool. It was the coolest thing ever. Again, I don't know much about Jurassic Park because I haven't seen. There's a pattern here that you probably noticed. I don't know a lot about these franchises that were at FanFest, but that didn't matter to me. It usually never matters to me when it comes to experiences, right? At any of these theme parks. But it was one of the coolest things I've seen. It was awesome. Actually, one of the coolest things that I think I've ever seen that night at Universal. Actually, let me save that for the end, because technically I did end my night with that as well. Excuse me. I've seen your video on Universal Fan Fest. Awesome. I almost didn't do a vlog, but I was kind of like, nah, I need to do a vlog at Universal for Fan Fest. I can't miss out on that opportunity. And I'm glad I did. I think it came out as good as it could have been. It was kind of like a makeshift vlog because I literally had no plans of making one, but I'm glad I did it anyway. Let me go back just quickly. Virginia Lake says, did you like it more than the original Waterworld show? Damn. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if I can necessarily say that I liked the One Piece show better than the Waterworld show. I don't know. I don't know if I can fully say that I liked it better than the Waterworld show, though. But at the same time, I will say it was a very close second. Again, I thought they did an incredible job with it. If they were able to have incorporated the seaplane somehow in the One Piece show, I probably would have been like, yeah, this is superior. Maybe, I don't know, but either way, like the show was awesome. It was great. Have you went to Nintendo World yet? Yes, I have been to Nintendo World like at least 3 times so far. And this trip, I actually got to do the Super Mario Kart ride for the very first time. And honestly, like I thought it was fun, right? Like you had like these Mario caps on, and you would have like these goggles that would kind of like connect to the Mario cap that you would put on. It was a augmented reality kind of ride in a way where you were still going through like some actual set pieces, like the worlds that you kind of see in Mario Kart, like Rainbow Road and stuff like that. You went underwater, you went through some volcanoes, you went through Bowser's castle and stuff, which was really cute, cool. And also the queue for that ride was awesome as well. Like my mind was blown when I was walking through that. But yeah, first time getting on that ride, it was so cool. It's kind of like a game, because you all have, like, steering wheels, and basically you're trying to shoot, like, I guess, the people on the opposing team. You're on Team Mario, and there's Team Bowser, and you're trying to beat Bowser, essentially, right? So, yeah, and you also get points, and also get power-ups, kind of like in the real game. Yeah, it was just so much fun. I had a lot of fun with that ride. And thankfully, it was a much shorter line because obviously the park was closed when I was getting on it. But of course with FanFest, with FanFest it was way less people in the park. So yeah, I didn't have to wait that long. It was so much fun. Are you going to Mega Movie Summer at Universal Studios? Possibly. I want to get a pass to Universal Studios. I've yet to do it, but I would love to get a pass to Universal Studios at some point. But yeah, it depends. It depends. I would love to go back to Universal Studios at some point, mainly because I would like to see them testing or just running the new Fast and Furious ride. A ride that I'm never going to get on, by the way, because that thing looks insane, but still, I would love to see it being ran, and also with people on it, especially with those cars turning when it's going through the track. I would love to see that. And also the last trip I went to Universal for FanFest, I unfortunately missed the studio tour, so I have to do the studio tour the next time. Um, Now, going back to FanFest, one of the other things that I did, was they did like they had like a Scooby Doo and Monsters, experience. So we went on the studio lot, and we were able to kind of walk around on one of the studio lots, like permanent, set pieces, right? I think it was called Little Europe, Little Italy, or Little Europe. I think it was Little Europe. And we were kind of walking through it. There was Scooby Doo. You got to meet him at the mystery van, and you got to meet Daphne and Velma and Freddy and Shaggy. And basically, everyone, we were actually like trying to figure out like a mystery. We were supposed to be like on a movie set, and we were all going to be extras, but there was like this phantom director that is ruining everything. And and basically, you also have like these universal monsters. You had the Bride of Frankenstein. You also had Frankenstein. You had Wolfman. You had uh Dracula. And I did not get to see him while I was there, because I don't think they were doing it while I was there. But you also got to see the Invisible Man as well. So that was really cool, and they had like some very cool moments there. I didn't necessarily participate in trying to figure out the mystery. Um, but either way, still, it was a very cool experience. And I'm glad that I was able to do it. I was there for like maybe about like an hour, just down there, just to kind of look at everything and capture a lot of stuff. It was really, really, really cool. Now, I think the coolest thing that I've done all night was, the coolest thing that I did all night was the Harry Potter experience, where it was the Forbidden Forest, right? And you got to at Universal Studios, they have like an extended queue for, it's just called Forbidden Journey, right? Yeah, Harry Potter and the Forbidden. Is it called Forbidden Journey? I think so. I should know these things, but I don't go to, Universal all that often. And the Forbidden, yes. So Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which I love that ride, by the way. But I actually I got to go on that ride twice, um, twice in a row. And the reason why I was able to get on it pretty quickly, I mean, I tend to, because like they have single rider, and single rider you literally wait like 5 minutes at maximum, or at least like on the days when it's not that busy. When it's very busy, I don't know. I haven't been to Universal when it's very busy, but when the days I have been to Universal, I've done single rider, and it's usually a walk on. Wizarding World of Harry Potter is what it's completely called. Yes. I love that part of the park. It's amazing. And again, this is coming from someone that knows barely anything about Harry Potter. um, I'll be right back, actually. Very quickly, I'm gonna get some more water. But yeah, be right back, and we'll continue talking about the Forbidden, Forest. So, be right back! Alright. I'll be back. Okay. Forbidden, or did I forget? No, I cannot do a BRB screen while I'm doing the setup. I'm live streaming on my phone, so I don't have those features. So yeah, that's why I can't put up any of the screens. It's also why there's not an intro or even a outro for this stream as well. So yeah. Anyway, Forbidden Journey. So uh, basically that ride at Universal, at least in Hollywood, I think it's a little different in Orlando because Orlando also has the same ride as well. And I think Tokyo. Is it Tokyo, Japan? Universal Japan also has the same ride there too. Basically they have an extended queue, right? I mean, the queue itself is pretty darn large, right? And the queue is also pretty immersive, which is amazing. Just theming wise, it's incredible. But basically, when it came to the extended queue, there's also an extended queue like that's a little bit outside of the ride, and it's when you walk like within that queue, which they barely use anymore. It looks like you're in like a forest, right? There's like a lot of trees. It's kind of overgrown and what have you. And what they decided to do was they did a they did like kind of a walkthrough experience for FanFest. And so what we ended up doing was we kind of walked through like the extended queue, and there were like certain activation moments. We were kind of walking around with like a professor wizard, and some people had their wands, and you kind of use the wands to kind of activate something. And the thing is, what we were actually doing was we were trying to head on out to save a hippogriff, right? And when we got to the end of that entire freaking experience where we got to see the hippogriff, oh my god, that was cool. That was one of the coolest. I know I've said that a lot though, but I think that was truthfully the coolest thing that I've seen all day when I was at Universal. That was freaking incredible. Because it was also, it was like, it was a huge puppet. I still don't know how they manned that thing. Like, the wings were able to open up and flap a little bit. The head was moving and everything like that. It was so cool. Like, I was shocked that they were even able to pull that off. It was crazy to me. But yeah, like, it was that definitely made my night. It made my night. That was like one of the coolest things. And of course, I had to use the picture that I got of the hippogriff as my thumbnail, because it was literally it was stunning. It was stunning. Um, so what else did I do at FanFest? I think also the only other thing that I did at FanFest was oh yeah, Super Nintendo World did also do something. They also had like the different Yoshis, right? So instead of just like the green Yoshi, they had the yellow, blue, pink, and purple Yoshi. Unfortunately, when I was there, the only Yoshis they had, I think, was the purple one and the pink one. They didn't have the other two. So that kind of sucked, especially considering that when they have all four Yoshis, they kind of sing, I guess, the Yoshi song and do like a little dance. And it sucked that I missed out on that, but it is what it is. But still, it was cool to see some of the other Yoshis. But that was what they would do at Super Nintendo World for FanFest. And one of the last things that I ended up doing was yeah, I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. The other thing that I ended up doing was a Sailor Moon show. So they had like they got a 4D theater at Universal. And the interesting thing about the Universal Theater, which is called the DreamWorks Theater, is that like the seats kind of move and vibrate with like the actions that you see on screen. You actually, they have their regular show that they have over there is you're kind of going along with Poe, and I guess there's like this hammer sword thing that they're trying to get back from an evil character. And basically you're kind of traveling along with Poe and trying to get it back. And it's interesting because again, the seats kind of move a little bit. They don't move that much. It kind of just like it's, it kind of tilts just a little bit. It kind of tilts you up and down just slightly. It's not enough to where you would necessarily need to have like a seatbelt to wear, but it moves just a little bit, and it's kind of like vibration and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. Honestly, it's pretty fun. But they had a version of that for Sailor Moon, and that show actually was pretty darn long. Like the show for Kung Fu Panda is like roughly 10 minutes. And I think it's 10 minutes, maybe 8. And the show for the Sailor Moon show was like at least 20 minutes. It was surprising how long it was though. But honestly, it was fun. It was fun. I definitely enjoyed that. So, yeah, overall, like, Universal Fan Fest was phenomenal. I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. I don't know what they're going to be bringing next year, because obviously they're not going to tell us about it until later on in the year, though. But still, I'm excited for when Fan Fest comes back. Like, I did not expect to have such a great time at a Fan Fest. Like I knew I was gonna have a good time though, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. And so I'm very excited for that. I can also say that it's much better than any of the After Dark events that Disney does. Like Disney does, some fairly fun After Dark events, but Fan Fest is just on a whole different level, on an entirely different level. So it's great. um Rike's art. Yo, welcome to the stream. I'm actually probably going to be ending the stream fairly soon because I am getting kind of tired. I do want to take a little bit of a nap before I end up trying to make me any dinner. But I guess we can go on for like maybe another 10 minutes or so. So, any questions that you guys have in the stream, let me know. Let me know. I mean, I could probably find some anyway. So I'm glad you had fun on Super Nintendo World. Yeah, Super Nintendo World is awesome. I will say that ours is the... I don't want to frame it that way, but because there's 3 Super Nintendo Worlds around the world. There's one in Japan, one at Epic Universe in Orlando, and there's one here. Ours is, I will say, our Universal, our Super Nintendo World is the weakest one, and the only reason why is because it's the smallest one, because we don't, other places are lucky that they have space to expand in, whereas with Universal Hollywood, especially since it's on a real studio, an actual working studio, and the way that it's built, we do not actually have the luxury of being able to really, like, expand all that much, right? And so the other Nintendo worlds are able to have a much bigger land, whereas we cannot have a bigger land, right? So unfortunately, we have a smaller land, but for the small land that we have, the way that they were able to like transport us into the world of Nintendo, still very, very great. You know what I mean? It's longer than a quick stream. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna still be on right now, but honestly, we were talking a lot, and I've been having fun speaking with you guys as I usually do. But yeah, even though ours is the smallest, well, technically yes, ours is the smallest Universal Studios park because of everything. But since ours is also the smallest Nintendo World, it's still a great land regardless. You still can have a lot of fun there, still can play some games over there, and the Mario Kart ride is pretty fun. So I'm definitely enjoying that. Shane, since your birthday is on Wednesday, do you plan on doing a stream of that day? I'm surprised you even remembered when my birthday was. I'm surprised you even remember my birthday is on Wednesday. Good Lord! Uh, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't bring up my birthday at all because I didn't want to bring attention to it. But, yeah, my birthday is on Wednesday. Am I going to do a live stream that day? I don't think so. In fact, I don't know what I'm going to be doing on that day anyway. I'm going to Disneyland on Tuesday because I don't want to go on that Wednesday because there's a Grat Night. So unfortunately, Grat Night lands on my birthday this year, and so I'm avoiding all Grat Night dates at Disneyland because, yeah. Thomas Bush says, "Oh, your birthday? I heard someone's turning the big 3-0. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Turning the big 3. We're not talking about that. Nah. No, we ain't talking about that. Anyway, we ain't talking about that, okay? We ain't talking about that. No. Where was I? What was I even talking about? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I have school on Wednesday, so I'm probably not going to make it. Yeah, but, yeah, Wednesday, because it's Grat Night, I'm not going to Disneyland that day. So, that's why I decided to go to Disneyland on Tuesday, just so, alright, man, sorry. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm just very self-conscious about turning that age. So, it's not a big deal. I'm not, but you know what I mean. But, yeah, but, like, that's why I, am going on Tuesday, so I can still have, like, my, Disneyland birthday celebration, but not with the crazy crowds that Grat Night brings, you know what I mean? So, yeah. On my actual birthday, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I may just hang out at the house and kind of do nothing. But sometime this week, I may want to go out and do something. Maybe I may want to go out and probably. Well, there's one restaurant that my mom always wanted to take me to. Many years ago for my birthday, and she never got the chance to. But it's in Hollywood, and I think it's like a sushi restaurant. It's like a Japanese restaurant, and it's pretty, like, from the pictures I've seen, it's beautiful. It's up on like a mountain, and you have like a beautiful view of LA. And so I might go there. Not Wednesday, I don't think, but like maybe over the weekend or something. So that would be, and it is expensive, but hey, I am fine with spending a good chunk of money on myself, especially the age that I'm turning on Wednesday. Yeah. So, Virginia Lake says pre-celebration at Disneyland on Tuesday for your 21st. Doing that. Yeah. So you've been lied to. You all have been lied to. I'm not turning 30. I'm actually turning 21. Yep. That is the official age. I am turning 21 on Wednesday. Not 30, 21. Okay? Yeah, but that's the plan for, again, maybe the weekend. I'm not quite sure, but that depends. So you were 9 years old in 2013. No, I wasn't. In fact, when I turned 21, I stopped aging. Exactly. So for the past 10 years, I've been 21. Never aged. Exactly. And you can't prove otherwise, okay? You can't prove otherwise. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Why are you going to be an adult? How do you feel about that? I don't know. I don't know. Oh god. I don't know. I can't. I can't believe I'm turning that age though. Honestly, like that's just nuts to me. It's like I'm like, what? Whew. Hey, it happens. It happens. I don't know what else to tell you. Hopefully you don't drink too much, and I don't drink at all. I do not like alcohol. I do not drink. The only alcoholic beverage I've ever drank in was a champagne once, and that was it. And that was because it was at like a theater party that I was at, and they knew that I didn't drink though. I guess somebody thought they gave me like gave me some apple cider, but it actually was damn, now I feel bad for being that. No, don't. You're good. You're good. I'm messing with y'all. But yeah, like it ended up being champagne, and I didn't want to be rude and like pour it down the sink or anything, so I ended up like sipping, pretty much drinking it all. But yeah, if I had the choice to not drink alcohol at all, which I do, I choose not to. I'm just not. I just don't like. I don't like the taste that alcohol provides. Right? Like I'll have me a good pina colada, but not with alcohol. So a virgin pina colada. You know what I mean? Apple cider isn't alcohol. Exactly. Apple cider is not alcohol. It's a bubbly drink. You know what I mean? But it's not alcoholic. So, that's what I would like when I would go out to like say dinner parties or galas or whatever. That's usually what they would give me as apple cider, right? So yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. Um, let me see something very quickly because I think I'm just gonna. Uh, yeah, there we go. Only because it doesn't make sense to continue calling it a quick live stream because it's not a quick live stream. I've been going for almost 2 hours, which is usual here. Um, but yeah, like so yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't do any kind of drugs. I ain't smoking. I definitely am not gambling. Okay, if I remotely go back to Las Vegas anytime soon, which I don't have any plans for that, I don't gamble. I do not gamble. I don't see the point in gambling. You know what I mean? It's just it's a waste. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money, right? So like, I mean, cause look, sure, you might be able to win some money back. You might end up hitting the jackpot at some point, right? But at the same time, it's like, what are the odds of that happening? Fairly slim, you know? And so, like, I don't want to go into a casino floor where I'm going to be putting in money, right, to, hold on a sec. But yeah, I don't want to be putting in, going somewhere where I'm putting in money. Fun fact, I live in Las Vegas. Nice, nice. But yeah, I don't want to be going somewhere where I'm putting in money into a machine, trying to get that money back, and then I lose all of it, right? The last time I went to Vegas, I decided, like, the only amount of money that I was going to remotely spend on gambling was $40. That's it. I lost all of those 40. I lost the $40, and I was like, well, that's it. I'm not even going to try to get that back. You know, it's like, it is just not worth it to me. You know what I mean? I was like, that was the only amount of money that I wanted to spend. And, I lost it all. I lost the $40 on gambling, and I was like, okay, that's it. That was a hard stop, and I wasn't continuing. Actually, I think the only money I really had from that was like $2 or something. I don't know. And that was the thing, right? For me, when it comes to Vegas, if your mother raised you well, yes, she did. Absolutely. Damn right on that. when it comes to Vegas, right? If I'm going to lose money, I better get something in return for it, okay? If I'm gonna spend like, let's say I decide to spend like $300. If I'm gonna spend $300 to go to Vegas or in Vegas, it better be because I'm either eating some great food or I'm seeing an amazing show in Vegas. Whether it's a concert or a Cirque du Soleil show or a magic show or something, I better get something for my money. Okay, like that. I'm totally fine with doing that. Okay, I am 100% fine with spending a certain amount of money, on experiences. That I am totally fine with. And Vegas does have a lot of experiences. Even if it is expensive, they do have a lot of experiences, mainly magic shows and concerts. And you have the Omega Mart thing, the Meow Wolf, which we're actually getting a Meow Wolf in Los Angeles opening sometime this year, and I'm very excited about that. But yeah, like we're getting we're doing stuff like that. I think it's called Area 15. They have some other things over there as well. But yeah, like I'm willing to spend money on those things. But gambling, what do I get for gambling? If I'm lucky, I may get the $40 back, right? Whoopity doo. If I'm even more lucky, I might even double my money and have $80, right? Or if I'm even more lucky, I might have like $200, which would be a good turnout, but I'm not willing to even chance that, But yeah, but when it comes to like, oh, I'm spending $40, and then yeah, look, $40 and you win $200, that's kind of a good return. You know what I mean? Not gonna lie, you're like $180 richer. No, $160 richer, right? I'm not mathing right. No, $160 richer. Yeah, which may not be a lot, but hey, 200 is better than 40. But still, it's like, I don't know. If I'm gonna lose money, I better get something in return for it, and not just a chance of getting more money. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about any of that stuff. So that's why I don't gamble. So yeah. So yes, I am a very responsible adult, as you can see. Okay. Oh man. I don't think I'd even gamble $1. Nah. I wouldn't. And that's the thing. Even if I were to go back to Vegas, would I maybe want to still like do the $40 again at one point? Maybe, just to see what happens. But again, that would be a hard stop, right? If I'm not gaining anything more, then just no, thank you. Excuse me. Josh is a goody two shoes. I don't know if I would go that far, but yeah, maybe. Look, I have fun in different ways. Okay, I don't care about club and I don't care about drugs. I definitely do not care about smoke. I hate cigarette smoke, and I also hate weed smoke. Weed smoke is the worst, bro. Like it smells awful. Have you ever been to high school where you're in the locker room and you got some druggies in the locker room and they're freaking smoking weed every time there's gym class? It sucks. I freaking hate that smell. Good lord. But yeah, I don't care about all those things, right? If I want to have fun, it's either I'm going to travel somewhere, or I'm going to go to Universal or Disney or Knott's Berry Farm, or I'm going to see a musical or a play, or even an opera. I kind of want to see an opera in a couple of weeks, right? There's one in downtown LA right now that I really want to see, so I might do that, But yeah, like that's the kind of stuff I care about. Like I don't need to do the clubbing crap. Like that's just not my style, you know what I mean? Especially considering I'm an introverted guy, you know what I mean? So like I don't tend to get out that often. I'm content with kind of being in the house and watching TV or trying to play some games maybe and whatever. But there's a reason why I go out to Disneyland, because it does give me stuff to do, so it's a whole thing. So yeah. Josh is an amazing young man, healthy, fun, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and and also, not even just that, but truth be told, health class scared the hell out of me. Like when it came to like, oh, the effects of drugs, the effects of smoking, the effects of drinking, it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay away from that. You know what I mean? Like even my mom, she used to be like a heavy smoker when she was in college, and she did a hard stop, cold turkey at some point, and never went back. You know what I mean? And I think she's had some I don't know if she's had some complications when it came to her breathing, when it came to like smoking. Surprisingly, because again, she was a heavy smoker. Even though there is somebody that is a heavy smoker in my relative family, and that made me hate smoking or smokers because my gosh, that I don't even want to talk about it. That was that was pretty damn bad. It was. Um unless if someone is doing something illegal or planning to do something dangerous, there's no reason to be a goody two shoes and tell on people on every single thing you hear. I mean, yeah, of course, like people can do whatever they want as long as it's not illegal or harming anyone. I don't. I try, or at the very least, I try not to necessarily judge people for what they do or what they're into. You know what I mean? Because we're all going to be into like weird stuff. We all do weird things and whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, most of us don't really have much room to judge others for what they choose to do or how they choose to have fun and stuff like that. I'm someone who lets people live. You know what I mean? If you do drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, whatever, just don't do it in my house. Like, just don't do it in my house. If you want to drink like a cup of champagne for a celebration in my house, that's fine. I don't want you smoking around my house, though. That's, you know what I mean? Hell no. Josh, where I lived in New York, there was a house that was under construction, and I was paranoid of it because I thought it was a meth house. God, wow, that's crazy. Um, where in New York, honestly? Because because every time I think of New York, I'm always thinking of Manhattan. Especially since that's the only part of New York I've ever been to, and that's like the main part of New York that people even talk about. So yeah, because I keep forgetting. Hey, New York does also have something just happened. I don't know what that was. But New York also has homes and suburbs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Josh gives off strict parent vibes. I honestly, not gonna lie, I probably I don't know if I would necessarily be a strict parent. I would be strict if I need to be strict. I can tell you that, right? Like my mom was a great parent, and she was strict when she needed to be, right? She was not always strict and, striking fear in my heart or anything or whatever, but I knew enough to where I knew where my place was, right? So I wouldn't say things, I wouldn't do certain things, because when she would get upset and mad at me or disappointed, that would be hurtful. You know what I mean? Like that was the kind of parent she was. Whereas there's some parents where it's like, some people just let their kids walk all over them, right? I would see these videos where these kids would literally have like a smart mouth talking to their parents or even cussing at their parents, telling them to shut the F up or whatever. And I'm kind of, and every time I see those videos, I'm kind of like, man, if I remotely talked to my mom like that, I don't know if I'd be on this earth anymore. You know what I mean? Like you see these situations where like kids are just talking a certain way to their parents, and it's like, yo, if I was that kid's dad, they would make sure to never speak like that to me ever again. You know what I mean? I don't know if that would necessarily mean that I would be strict, but like I would be stern, if anything, because ain't no way I'm going to allow like a snotty nosed little kid to talk to me a certain way, whether it is to call me a name or to cuss at me. It's like, nah. My mom didn't allow that to happen to me. I'm not allowing that to happen to me. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's parenting is a whole thing. You know, I sometimes I feel like I would be better than a lot of parents out there. I don't know per se because I don't know what parents go through all the time, you know? But still, it's like yeah. I mean, but I will say, you know, since we were kind of still talking about like you know, drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, I would certainly make sure that my kid never gets into that stuff. You know, like I would really want to make sure that they stay away from that. Because you know, I mean, as a parent, you would hopefully want best for your kid, and you would not want them to grow up, you know, becoming like addicted to drugs and addicted to weed or smoking or anything. My birth mother, right? Because I was adopted at the age of 5, 6 years old or something. My birth mother, unfortunately, she was an alcoholic, right? She was a heavy drinker, and that was why she ended up putting me up for adoption because she had two other children that she literally was not able to take care of because of that addiction. And she decided I want better for him, so I'm gonna put him up for adoption, right? So that's what she did. And I'm 100% grateful for that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know where I would be if, say, she didn't make that decision and I was still with her. You know, I have no idea what kind of person I would be. I certainly wouldn't be this guy, or I also certainly wouldn't be. I wouldn't be here. You know, and I also probably wouldn't be making YouTube videos either. So, yeah. Wait, you were adopted? Yes, yes. I don't talk about it too often because usually it's irrelevant, you know, and when it comes to a conversation. But at the same time, though, like I'll bring it up every now and then because if it's relevant to any kind of discussion, you know, I mean, it's at the same time it is a part of who I am, an adopted child. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. So, yeah. Oi. Yeah, it's crazy. I said I was gonna end stream, and I'm still talking, and now we're talking about real stuff. Oh goodness, it is crazy. I was supposed to. I wanted this to be a quick stream, but not. It worked out. It worked out. We're still about roughly 2 hours. Yeah. Well, I guess it might be time. It might. Yeah, it might be because it is 6:35. Um. I almost wanted to do another 2 laps around the neighborhood today, but I don't know if I want to do that. I may not be filling up to it. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But yeah, but I definitely want to make me some crab legs for dinner tonight. Yeah. I've been eating good seafood recently. I've got like some Argentinian red shrimp, and I've made those into like tacos last night. Oh my god, those were good. Ooh, what if I made? I don't know if I don't know if I want to do that, but what if I made snow crab leg tacos? That would be interesting. Huh. Hmm. Maybe. We'll see. um your birth mom honestly made the best decision for you. That's what every other addicted parent should do, but unfortunately that doesn't happen often. Yeah. Trust me, I always have to honestly, me, my god sister, who's also adopted, and my god brother, again, also adopted, in different they were adopted by the same mother, um, and I was adopted by somebody else, right? But we always kind of like kept our connection throughout the years and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I used to see them every single weekend because I lived with the foster family for like 2 years, right? And so we grown extremely close, and so we my mom made sure that we weren't going to lose that connection, you know, because we didn't want to lose connection with each other, you know. So yeah, but that was the thing. All three of us, we always have to, you know, think back to how lucky we truly are. You know that you know, our situations may not have necessarily been great. Like my god sister's situation when it came to her mother and the father and everything like that. that situation was not great. Not don't want to get into it, but it wasn't great. But it was a good thing that they put her up for adoption, and yeah, she was adopted into a great family. And again, same with me, with my mom being alcoholic, or birth mother being alcoholic, and me going into a nice household and a great parent, a great mother. Like I know that that's not everyone's story when it comes to being in foster care and even like being adopted and stuff like that. Like I know that that's not everyone's story. You know what I mean? But like I have to consider myself like very blessed and lucky that that's my story. And I'm never gonna take that for granted. Never. Um. But yeah, that was the real talk with Joshua Boyd Williams, aka Sky the Bun Bun. Man, it's crazy these live streams. They just go all over the place somehow. I don't know how that happens. Uh, oh man, Sky the Bun Bun. Yep, yep. I've had that name for like 13 years? I don't think necessarily with the channel, but like when I created the character, technically my persona, I should say. Yeah. I've had that name for a long time. 2013 me was interesting. And so was 2014 me, but I hated 2014 me. My god. But yeah, high school years were very interesting. I can tell you that for sure. Let's see. And also, Josh, I heard you like crab legs. If you ever feel like traveling, come to Maryland. We love crab legs down here, especially during the summertime. I would love to go somewhere where there was some really good crab. I would love to go somewhere that had like a buffet where it was like a bunch of crab legs, but not just any crab legs. King crab legs. Oh my goodness. I had king crab legs like for the first time like maybe 2 years ago, because I actually found like a fairly cheap packet at Costco. Surprisingly, it was lesser than the other like packets they had, which was like $60, and it was like maybe a couple of pounds or so, and this one was like less. But that was fine with me. Like I still was able to taste king crab, and that was amazing. I was like, wow. That was so good. I want some more crab legs, man. Some more king crab legs in particular. The snow crab legs that I get from Costco are really good though. Like when you get some at other like grocery stores, they may have like a little amount of meat in them, but these are like pretty like thick and they have a good amount of meat. So yeah. The only thing about like crab legs that kind of sucks, I mean, I guess that's with almost any like shell food, seafood in a way, is that you have to do so much to like crack open the shell so you'd be able to get the meat, you know what I mean? Even though admittedly it's kind of satisfactory in a way, it kind of sucks a little bit. Yeah, it's nuts. You were truly blessed with your mother. Yeah. And it's something I never freaking forget, trust me. I'm trying to... Yeah, okay. Not gonna lie, Josh, you should make your own podcast. It would actually be reasonable and not be like those those incel red pill dudes who villainize and breathe any breathing women to exist. Oh man, it's funny because I actually like many years ago I actually like made my own podcast, right? I cut and yeah, the name was the Bun Bun Podcast. I'm not even kidding. But that was when Anchor used to be a thing, which I think was bought out by Spotify. So I think it's just a part of Spotify now. And that was kind of like when anybody could really make a podcast, and literally I would just kind of talk about random stuff, whether it was I'm talking about my day at Disney or I'm talking about what I did at cooking school. I think I had that podcast around that time. Or just certain like random topics that I wanted to talk about. I would just talk about it for like 30 minutes or something. And I would just post it. So, yeah. Damn, I remember that. Yeah. That was interesting. Um I don't. If I were to do a podcast, I don't like. If I were to bring back the podcast or do a different podcast, I don't know what it would be about. You know, I mean, it probably would be about like theme parks. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, I don't know. I bet it was an experience to do a podcast. I mean, yeah. I just like at the time I was just recording on my phone because you could. I think you were able to like just record at the time through Anchor, right? I think you were just able to do it and just post it from there. And then I started like, got the microphone and started being a bit more professional with it, with like the intros and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what I would even talk about if now if I were to do like a legit podcast and what have you. Um, what's your favorite seafood do you like the most? Ooh, that's a good one. I would have to say it's a toss up right now. Damn, I don't know. I'll say my favorite seafoods. I don't know if I can say what's my ultimate number one seafood that's my favorite, but I'll say my favorite seafoods that I really like is salmon. That's like my all-time favorite fish to have. It's just like it's different than any other kind of fish in terms of how you prepare it and think it just also like the flavor as well. Like it's one of my favorites. There's shrimp, crabs, of course, and then lobster. I love lobster. Anytime I can try to get myself a lobster roll. I went to the LA County Fair like I think it was 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was. No, wait a minute. No, it was Memorial Day. Yeah, it was I went to the LA County Fair on Memorial Day, which was a lot of fun. And I actually had a lobster roll over there and it was so good. Like damn, I was actually shocked at how good it was. I haven't had anything bad at the LA County Fair when I was uh uh, getting any food and whatnot. Like I've never had anything bad. Um, Memorial Day is quite an interesting one. Honestly, like Memorial Day was a good day to go because there wasn't actually a ton of people. Well, there was a lot of people there though, but it was more so that for me because it's all the way in Pomona, so like without traffic, that took me like roughly 40 minutes to get there. With traffic, it takes me about like an hour or so, which I'm kind of used to because when I like drive over to Disney, it takes me like 30 minutes to an hour to get there, depending on traffic. Even though Disney is like slightly closer in terms of mileage, um, but that was the thing. Like I didn't have much traffic going down there, and even getting home, so it was great. And I did so much. I didn't even do any rides there. I was mainly walking around, seeing some of the exhibits, caught some of the animals. I even walked through like the vegetable patch that they also have over there, which was kind of like a nice outing in a way. And yeah, so I freaking love the LA County Fair. I haven't been since like I think 2019 or something. And so I was glad to be able to go back this year, and I'm already planning on hopefully going next year. So yeah, but yeah. And speaking of lobster, there's gonna be like a lobster fest in a couple of months that I may want to try to go to. But that depends if they're gonna be holding it while I'm in Texas or if I'm still here. I'm not sure. Hmm. And now my dog's barking. She's like, you bathed me and now you're not giving me much attention. You gave me a lot of attention earlier with the freaking flea bath, and now you need to give me even more attention. So she wants me to come down there. So yeah. So let me check some other comments here, and then I think we will be ending the stream since we've been going on for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Um My parents are from Louisiana, so I get seafood every day. I've had seafood in Louisiana, actually. I don't know what kind of fried fish we had though, but it was probably some of the best fried fish I'd had, at least from my memory. But it was a while ago though. It was definitely a while ago, but like damn, hmm. See, I haven't had fried catfish in a long time. So I may have to get me some catfish at some point. I don't think that's gonna be today, but like at some point, I gotta get me some catfish. I miss catfish. Um, what are your thoughts on Red Lobster? I don't have Red Lobster all that often. But from the times I've been to Red Lobster, which was admittedly before the new CEO came in, I thought they were good. I never really like fully understood like why people didn't necessarily like Red Lobster, or I guess like quality was going down or something, but that was never my experience. Um, but yeah, every time I've gone to Red Lobster, I've always had like, some good stuff there, whether it be like the lobster fettuccine alfredo, or the steak and lobster. I think that was the last thing I had, was the steak and lobster, which was pretty good. Um, I've never had their endless shrimp before, and I don't know if I can do their endless shrimp. Like I would need to do that with somebody, right? So yeah, I haven't been to Red Lobster in like maybe 3 years or so. I don't know, but yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. But yeah, I love me some good seafood. I love me some, which is why I mean, this one is more of a sushi place, but that's why when it comes to like my birthday celebration, I want to go up to that restaurant in Hollywood that's like a fancy-ish like sushi place. Because I love sushi. Like anytime I can have sushi, like me and my god sister, when we met up for Mother's Day, we had some really freaking good sushi. Probably some of the best sushi I've had to date. I was like, wow. But yeah, that's like seafood. I think seafood and sushi are among like my top favorite foods. And then you go into the basics like tacos and uh, burgers and stuff and salads, and fettuccine alfredo and all that stuff. Man, I shouldn't be talking about food right now because I'm getting hungry, which means I should be ending the stream. You guys even hear my dog barking at this point. Yeah, I guess she's getting louder. But yeah, I think we should end it there. Do you like dumplings? Yes, I love dumplings. I also like wontons as well. Did I have dumplings last? Yes, I did have dumplings last weekend. I was at like a farmer's market last weekend, and somebody was actually selling some dumplings, and I got some for lunch, and it was really freaking good. Wanted to go back today, but with everything that I was doing today, walking around and dealing with buying stuff for my dog and giving her a flea bath, which was very freaking exhausting, my god, I I didn't go, so I'm probably gonna go next weekend or something, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, again, I think that is where we are going to end the stream today. I wasn't sure if I was even going to do a stream today, considering that when it came to me testing last night, things kind of just were not really going all that well. And so, that's why I wasn't sure if I was going to do a live stream, but ended up doing it on my phone, and it still worked. So, yeah, I'm glad that I was able to decide, because I wanted to do a live stream for you guys anyway, especially considering my birthday is coming up. And I most likely am not doing one on that day. I mean, I can keep you posted if I do, so it's a possibility, but I don't know. But yeah, like, okay, all right, I'm coming down soon. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to do this live stream with you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I know I've been kind of MIA on this channel. Um, I don't know when the hell I'm gonna post another video if I continue doing those, but I will keep you posted on when I do another live stream. Whether it is that it's gonna be on my birthday or not, we'll see. And the live streams are most likely gonna be like this for a while on my phone because I gotta deal with the computer. Either I get a new laptop for live streams or not. I don't know. It really depends. But yes. Any Tunimation, Robert Colbert, Skeptor Wolf, Meche, Roswell, Shane, yeah, Shane, Rike Arts, I think, Thomas Bush, Abe Crack. Thank you guys so much for joining in this live stream. I'm not sure if Virginia Lake is still here, but if she is, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for being a good friend as well. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And if you are... I don't know if any of you guys are even in school, but if you are in school, hopefully you enjoy your summer vacation. And if you are graduating, whether it is from school or it's from college or whatever, happy graduation, class of 2026. And you still keep getting my name wrong? Well, I'm sorry, okay? Oh, man. My bad. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for joining in on this live stream. Hopefully you guys, again, have a good rest of your week and have a good rest of your Sunday as well. Stay safe out there and talk to you guys later. All right, peace out. Take care.